All right, so we're going to simulate some possible Yankees trade deadline moves in Out of the Park Baseball 26. I was going to use the MLB Trade Simulator website for my Yankees trade deadline video I released a couple days ago, but that website is now behind a paywall, which I was not aware of. This is definitely the next best option. I spent some time doing some practice trades and messing with the difficulty, and I figured out this setting. I was getting way too easy trades with favorite prospects set up higher. I thought that would be a little more realistic, but the trades seem to be a nice balance between realistic and difficult. When I stick it a couple notches from the top on hard on terms of trading difficulty, and then the trading preference needs to be even because you can just fleece, especially the Pirates who are a rebuilding team at this stage in this game. You can just absolutely fleece them with prospects if you turn this up too high. So we're going to turn it down lower because we're specifically trying to make a deal here with the Pirates for Mitch Keller and Brian Hayes. I would like the deal to consist, as I said in my trade deadline video, of Oswald Peraza and prospects. That's the trade we're going to be trying to work out today in Ootp 26. Just for fun, we might also try to swing a trade for Paul Skenes if that's at all possible. I kind of doubt it, though. And as you can see here, the Pittsburgh Pirates are currently rebuilding. So we're going to start Mitch Keller and Brian Hayes here. And now very much doubt this goes through, but we start with third baseman Oswald Peraza, who the game seems to like a decent amount, thinks he's a good major league player. They say if you offer a little more, we could be able to seal the deal. So we might not be terribly far away, actually, already with just Oswald Peraza. Ben Hess is a Yankees pitcher I like a lot in real life. Good arm, multi-pitch mix, former college guy, I believe former SEC guy. And it says Oswald Peraza and Ben Hess, and that goes through for Mitch Keller and Brian Hayes. So let's back off on Ben Hess a little bit. Ben Hess might be a little too good of a prospect. And, you turn the prospect difficulties down a little bit, and you can still get a lot done with a prospect like Ben Hess. How about Roderick Arias? Roderick Arias not good enough. Top shortstop in the Yankee system. Profiles to be a major leaguer one day. Maybe some strikeout issues. Number 67 prospect in all of baseball. That's not enough to get it done. In addition to Peraza, so they really like Ben Hess. Bryce Cunningham would be the secondary pitching option, only a 3-pitch mix, so I kind of like moving him more. He's also a college arm. Jay Savina is a guy I'm not that crazy about here. He's been a guy mentioned on Yankee prospects list for a while now, 22 and in Double-A. We add him in and it still isn't enough, so let's see. What is it going to actually take here? And there are some lower down in the farm system prospects we can throw in here to make this deal work. How about Gage Zeal here from the Tampa Tarpons? Let's do that. And so right now, this is a makeable deal. We've got Oswald Peraza, Bryce Cunningham, Jay Savina, and Gage Zeal for Mitch Keller and Brian Hayes. Cunningham and Avina, decent prospects, but nobody that the Yankee system isn't going to be able to replace, let's be honest, at least hopefully. Neither of these guys end up being special major league talents, but from the Pirates' perspective, they're guys who are going to be ready to contribute relatively soon with how quickly the Pirates like to promote the young prospects in their system. And Oswald Peraza is definitely a guy who's going to slot onto the Pirates roster right now, probably take right over from Brian Hayes in that third base spot. Let's see if we can throw in IKF into this deal, because I said I wanted him, of course, to take over that spot on the roster that Peraza is vacating. And that's going to make it a little more complicated. Hopefully there's another prospect we can throw in, and there is. Starting pitching prospects, definitely don't want to give up Brock Selvage. He's a guy I like in real life. Tristan Vierling, I don't like Will Warren in real life, but he's been pretty rough this season in the bigs. Adding an IKF kind of makes this kind of tough. Henry Lelane. And so here we go. Luis Serna. Kind of an undersized starting pitcher. 5'11", 145 pounds. 20 years old. Needs to bulk up a little bit. We'll just move him. You're adding quite a bit of starting pitching depth here. Cunningham, Zeal, and Serna. All to the Pirates rotation. I think they'll be happy to take 3 options for giving away 1 here in Keller. And they're just going to lose 1 infield slot here, giving away Hayes and IKF. That's not the biggest deal in the world. And I think this is a pretty realistic trade. Let me know what you guys think. So let's make this deal, and then we'll try to make a deal for Paul Skenes just for fun. And let's see about David Bednar. Let's see what the game thinks in terms of the Yankees going after David Bednar from the Pirates, just out of quick curiosity. So there's quite a few players here, quite a few prospects the game seems to think, Aaron Judge, seems to think that they would take for David Bednar. Everson Pereira is here. Cam Schlitter is here. I think I might even make that deal. I don't think this is terribly realistic, because Cam Schlitter is a guy I think that the Yankees brought up Either, of course, to see what he has in real life, but, if there's somebody that wants to come in for him at the deadline and, sell a good major league piece for Cam Schlitter, that's something that I think the Yankees are trying to essentially manifest here by bringing up Cam Schlitter and giving him some major league time, get him to catch the eye of some small market GM. So yeah, but it seems to me, at least according to this, that they've got plenty of options if they want Bednar. Although if the Pirates aggressively sold Bednar, the Yankees would have a lot of competition. So you'd think more realistically, you might have to do something like, well, let's, for example, we've already given the Pirates so much starting pitching talent. I feel like it might be more likely to be built around a position player. Spencer Jones is a really gifted player who I don't really want the Yankees to give away. It would be a really big get for the Pirates. And I think in a lot of ways, Roderick Arias has decent potential to actually turn into a better player. But Everson Pereira is not a bad bet at all. They would make that deal, but the Yankees seem to have absolutely no interest in bringing Everson Pereira back up from AAA if they can help it. I think they've kind of given up on him in the organization. I think this might be the most likely player, actually, now that I think about it, the Yankees move at the deadline. He clearly has some kind of major league ability in him. And I think a lot of other organizations around the league see major league ability in Everson Pereira, but the Yankees literally right now are not giving him a chance to prove it to anyone. So I think this is a guy who very likely does get dealt at the deadline. Straight up for David Bednar seems a little generous. So I pretty much think you can go into prospects and just, play Pirates GM here and just pick which one you want to, try to strong arm Brian Cashman to give up. But you really can't pick your poison here. So Pico Cone actually looks good. Let's find somebody that I don't mind throwing in here that I think might be a little realistic. I kind of love Rock Riggio. I feel like heartbreaking. Here, the Pirates have already given us a couple of infielders, so we're giving him an infielder back here in TJ Rumfield, even though he's a first baseman. We're giving him another position player here in Everson Pereira to round out that pretty woeful offense the Pirates have, and all they got to do is give up their closer, which they clearly have no problem doing year on year on year, and every time they have a good one. And now to round out the video and stop ripping on the Pirates, let's try to make a trade for Paul Skenes. I kind of doubt that this works. I kind of doubt that we can actually pull this off. We're going to have to start throwing in actual major league players at some point, or Jason Dominguez or something, to try to actually make this work. It says we have no player who makes the deal work. That's hardly surprising, but let's see. So, I mean, just to start off, we got to do Arias, right? And we got to do Jones. And already he's saying you can't be serious, and we just put in two pretty good future major league players here, you'd think, for Pittsburgh, and they're just laughing in our face. We still have Lombard and Ben Hess to give up. I managed to get you guys Brian Hayes, Mitch Keller, and David Bednar without having to give up Arias, Jones, Hess, Lombard, or anybody other than Everson Pereira and Oswald Peraza. How about that? So we're going to throw in Ben Hess. Anything? Nope. How about George Lombard as well? Basically, the four best prospects in the Yankee system all at once for Paul Skenes. Can we even get a make this work now? No, we can't. We can only put 5 players into a trade in this game, so let's add in Jason Dominguez and see if that moves it at all. Come back to me when you have a serious offer, and we can't add anybody else to the deal, obviously. I think the least valuable player here, insane to say, would probably be Spencer Jones. Let's remove him. Anybody? No. How about Anthony Volpe? What have you been smoking? All right, well, that's going to do it for this video. We can't trade for Paul Skenes. I'm not going to start throwing Aaron Judge in this deal. You can download the game and try that yourself and watch it not work. There's clearly no trade. I think Paul Skenes probably absolutely maxes out the trade value. I mean, my brother in Christ, he's a 23-year-old making $740,000 a year. Right, what else do you want me to say? His trade value is just completely off the scale. Him and Mizorowski probably have the most insane trade values in the entire game right now, as just completely broken early 20s starting pitchers making league minimum at basically 5-star ability. And that pretty much reflects real life. So, unfortunately, the Yankees don't really have a shot to trade for Paul Skenes at this year's deadline, but I think that some potential trades like the ones that I made today could help to facilitate a better relationship with the Pirates for a future trade for Paul Skenes. And I think it's unfortunate that there's already a narrative, at least unfortunate for Yankee fans, probably fortunate for Pirates fans, that there's already a narrative that the Pirates are essentially something like a feeder club for the Yankees. If you've ever played Football Manager, a quadruple A team basically for the Yankees. Both our triple A and our quadruple A teams are in Pennsylvania. Our quadruple A team is the Pittsburgh Pirates. We played them in the 1923 World Series. And to celebrate the 105th anniversary of that World Series in 2028, we're going to trade for Paul Skenes. But here's the full summary of the first deal that we made. Mitch Keller, Cabrian Hayes, and IKF for Oswald Peraza, Bryce Cunningham, Jay Savina, Gage Steele, and Luis Cerna. And the second trade, closer David Bednar for Everson Pereira and TJ Rumfield. Those are the two trades that we swung with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Get some projectable players in the early half of their 20s. Actually, I think every single player here fits that description, including 3 starting pitchers, all at the age of 22, and Oswald Peraza, a current Major League bat, as we said. And then Everson Pereira and TJ Rumfield, 2 players who may never work out at the Major League level, but who the Pirates can certainly give a try and try to build a more respectable team in the coming years. So that's going to do it for the video. Hit like and subscribe for more baseball content. Of course, I've loved the response to all my baseball content lately. I love baseball. I love the Yankees. I love making baseball content and Yankees content for all you guys, so stay tuned.